A World Cup finalist in 2026 will play 7 matches in 25 days. That's one game every 3.5 days. For context, the Premier League gives players 5 to 7 days between matches. The Champions League gives 3 to 4. But the World Cup? You get 2 days off between the semi-final and the final after you've already played 6 matches. By the time you reach the final, your legs aren't fresh. They're held together by willpower, tape, and painkillers. This is the brutal math of the 2026 World Cup. Let's map the full path. A finalist plays 3 group stage matches, one every 4 days. Then the knockout rounds begin. Round of 32, round of 16, quarter-final, semi-final, final. That's 4 knockout matches added on top of the group stage, 7 total. The groups give some breathing room, but from the round of 32 onward, the schedule tightens to 3 days between most matches. And the gap between the semi and the final? 48 hours. That's not recovery time. That's survival time. Sports science says full muscle recovery takes 72 hours after a match. That's 3 full days. But the World Cup schedule gives you 2 to 3 days between matches. That means players are taking the field with muscles that haven't fully recovered. Each match compounds the damage. By the third knockout round, players are operating at 70 to 80% of their normal capacity. The brain tells them to sprint. The body can't keep up. That's when mistakes happen. That's when muscles tear. Recovery science breaks down into 3 pillars. 1. Muscle glycogen replenishment. After a match, your muscles are empty. It takes 24 hours to fully refuel with proper nutrition. 2. Inflammation management. Micro tears in muscle fibers cause swelling. Ice baths, compression, anti-inflammatories help, but only reduce about 30% of the damage. 3. Central nervous system recovery. Your brain fires thousands of signals during a match. That mental fatigue is just as real as physical exhaustion. Ignore any pillar and recovery drops. Let's track the damage across each match. After match 1, muscles have minor micro tears. Recoverable, after match 2, glycogen stores are still depleted from match 1. After match 3, inflammation hasn't fully cleared. By the round of 32 match 4, you're playing on partially recovered legs. By the quarterfinal, your sprint speed drops 8 to 12%. By the semifinal, your decision-making slows down. By the final, you're running on adrenaline and stubbornness. That's not strategy. That's biology. Sleep is the single most powerful recovery tool. Every hour of sleep below 8 hours increases injury risk by 15%. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone that repairs muscle tissue. But in a World Cup, players lose 2 to 3 hours of sleep per night travel. Late matches, adrenaline, noise, nutrition is just as critical. A player burns 3,000 to 4,000 calories per match. If they don't replace those calories in the 24-hour window, the next match is played on empty reserves. This is where squad management becomes a superpower. A World Cup squad has 23 players. Only 11 start each match. That leaves 12 players on the bench. Smart managers rotate 3 to 4 players per match, resting key starters against weaker group opponents, saving stars for knockout matches. The math is simple. If you spread the 7 matches across 18 outfield players, each player averages 5. 4 starts instead of 7. That's 1.6 fewer matches of wear per player. Rotation isn't a luxury in this World Cup. It's a necessity. Some players don't get the luxury of rotation. The goalkeeper plays every minute of every match, 7 full games, 630 minutes minimum. The star striker who carries the team's scoring hopes the manager can't rest them. The captain, the leader, the heart of the team, they play through everything. These are the Iron Men, and they pay a price. By the final, goalkeepers have made 25-plus explosive movements per match. Strikers have taken 50-plus sprints. These players accumulate the most damage and get the least rest. Not all positions fatigue the same way. Fullbacks cover the most distance, 11 to 13 kilometers per match, with the highest intensity sprints. They need the most recovery. Central midfielders cover similar distance, but at lower intensity, they need glycogen refuel more than muscle repair. Wingers need explosive recovery. Their repeated max speed sprints create the most muscle fiber damage. Center backs have lower physical demand but high cognitive load. Constant decision making creates mental fatigue. Position matters when planning rotation. This isn't theoretical. We've seen it happen. In 2014, Brazil played 7 matches in 25 days, and by the semi-final against Germany, they were a shell of themselves 7-1. Not because Germany was that much better. Because Brazil's legs were gone. In 2018, Croatia reached the final after 3 consecutive extra time matches. They ran 20% less in the final than they did in the group stage. They lost. Fatigue isn't an excuse. It's a biological fact. History shows that the team with more rest between knockout rounds has a massive advantage. This World Cup rewards depth more than any tournament in history. Teams like France, England, Brazil, and Germany can bring players like Coman, Grealish, Rodrigo, and Musiala off the bench. These aren't squad players, they're stars who don't start. When you can substitute a tired winger with a fresh winger of equal quality, the opponent's advantage evaporates. Deep squads allow managers to rotate without dropping quality. In a 7-match tournament, the team with the best 16 players beats the team with the best 11. Then there are teams where the drop-off from starter to substitute is massive. Think of nations like Saudi Arabia, Costa Rica, or Tunisia. Their first 11 can compete. But their bench? The quality gap is so wide that managers can't rotate. So the same 11 players start every match. By match 4, they're surviving on fumes. By match 6, they're statistically eliminated before the whistle. In this new format, smaller nations won't just lose to better teams. They'll lose to deeper benches. The 2026 World Cup is a war of attrition, not just skill. FIFA made one smart change for 2026: 5 substitutions per match instead of 3. That's 5 fresh legs entering every game. Over 7 matches. A team that uses all 5 subs every game injects 35 substitute performance hours into their tournament. That's essentially 3 extra matches of fresh leg play. Teams with quality depth can replace half their outfield players by the 60th minute. The opponent's tired defense faces entirely fresh attackers. The 5-sub rule doesn't just help managers. It reshapes the entire tournament in favor of deep squads. The mental toll is harder to measure but just as destructive. Every match requires constant high-level decision-making. Every pass, every run, every defensive read. By match 5, cognitive decline sets in, reaction times slow by 10 to 15%. Players make bad decisions they wouldn't make in match 1. The famous World Cup mistake, a defender misreading a cross, a keeper spilling a simple shot, is often just a fatigued brain failing under pressure. Mental fatigue doesn't show up on a scan, but it shows up on the scoreboard. Behind every surviving player is the medical team working around the clock. Physiotherapists doing soft tissue work at 11 p.m. after a match. Nutritionists preparing personalized refuel plans. Sports scientists analyzing GPS data to determine who can play and who needs rest. Team doctors making the call, can this player go again, or do we hold them back? In a 7-match tournament, the medical staff is as important as the coaching staff. The team with better recovery infrastructure doesn't just play better. They survive longer. In 2026, every player on every team wears GPS trackers. The data is real-time. Coaches know exactly how many high-intensity sprints each player has made, their current heart rate variability, their muscle oxygen levels. This data decides who trains and who rests. If a player's load exceeds 85%, they're held out of training. If their HRV drops below baseline, they don't start. The 2026 World Cup isn't just a football tournament. It's a 25-day data science experiment, and the teams with the best analytics survive. So what does it actually take to win the 2026 World Cup? Four things. One, squad depth of at least 16 quality players, not 11. Two, a smart rotation plan that rests starters in the group stage without sacrificing results. Three, world-class recovery infrastructure medical staff, nutritionists, cryotherapy, sleep optimization. Four, a little luck with injuries. Teams that check all four boxes become champions. Teams missing even one fall apart in the knockout rounds. The 2026 World Cup won't be won by the most talented team. It'll be won by the freshest team. The 2026 World Cup isn't just about who has the best players. It's about who can keep their players alive for 25 days. The teams that understand recovery science, that have the depth to rotate, that invest in medical infrastructure, those are the teams lifting the trophy on July 19th. For everyone else, the schedule will be the opponent they can't beat. If you want to understand which teams are truly ready for the seven-match war, you now have the blueprint. Follow WC26 Matrix for more breakdowns that change how you watch the game.